Global shock. When cryptography becomes an open door, we are approaching a moment in technological history that experts call Q-Day, or the Quantum Day. Imagine on a morning in the year 2030, you wake up and realize the entire global financial system has been frozen. All bank passwords, all stock transactions on the NASDAQ exchange, and even the most secure Bitcoin wallets are wide open. This is not a science fiction movie, but a physical reality being shaped by quantum computers. While traditional computers use binary bits of 0, and quantum computers use qubits, allowing them to perform complex calculations millions of times faster. Our current security systems, from the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) to central banks, rely on difficult mathematical problems that normal computers would take thousands of years to solve. But for a perfected quantum machine, these problems take a mere 1 second. This is the quantum shock, a force that can wipe out trust in the digital system in the blink of an eye. At Silicon Valley and laboratories in China, this race is unfolding fiercely because any nation or organization that masters this technology first will become the king of the new world. They will hold the universal key to open any data storage from military secrets to your account balances. For an individual investor, this is extremely important information because it raises questions about the sustainability of digital assets. If the entire encryption system is broken, the value of the numbers on your phone screen will return to 0. We have spent decades digitizing everything, but we forgot that the foundation of that digital house was built on an algorithm that can be decrypted. The rise of quantum computing is not just a technological step forward, it is a global power restructuring. The bottom line here is very clear. If you do not prepare for a post-cryptographic world, you are placing your entire financial future into a risky gamble. Let us start looking deep into how this machine will crush what we consider inviolable. To understand why Q-Day is so terrifying, we have to look at the one neat trick that current encryption uses to protect trillions of dollars. Right now, almost all digital security, from your Bitcoin wallet to the SWIFT network used by banks, relies on the extreme difficulty of factoring giant numbers. If you take two massive prime numbers and multiply them, it is easy to get the result. But for a classical computer to work backward and find the original primes, it would take longer than the age of the universe. This is the foundation of RSA and elliptic curve cryptography, ECC, the invisible locks on our digital world. But in the laboratories of Google and IBM, scientists are perfecting Shor's algorithm, a mathematical formula designed specifically for quantum machines to solve this problem in minutes. A recent study by Google researchers revealed that we might need significantly fewer qubits than previously thought to break RSA 2048-bit encryption. Instead of 20 million qubits, it might only take 1 million noisy qubits to bypass the security of almost every bank on the planet within a week. This creates a systemic risk that could lead to a complete erosion of market confidence overnight. Imagine the panic when the first Bitcoin address from the Satoshi era is suddenly drained by a quantum attack, proving that immutability was just a temporary state of limited computing power. The SEC and the Financial Stability Board are already raising red flags about the HNDL strategy. Harvest now, decrypt later. Hostile nations and cyber-cartels are currently intercepting and storing massive amounts of encrypted financial data from 2025, waiting for the day they can plug it into a quantum computer to unlock every secret. Your bank transfers, your private messages, and your corporate trade secrets are already being harvested for a future payday. This means the quantum shock isn't a future event. It is a slow-motion car crash that is happening right now. In a world where digital locks can be picked by subatomic particles, the very concept of digital ownership becomes fragile. We have spent the last 20 years moving our wealth into the cloud, but we are about to find out that the cloud is made of glass. As we move toward the center of this storm, the question isn't whether the walls will fall, but who will be standing in the rubble with something of real value. The development of a functionally relevant quantum computer is the 21st century equivalent of the Manhattan Project. In the corridors of power in Washington, D.C. and Beijing, this isn't just about faster calculations, it is about the ultimate geopolitical leverage. The nation that achieves quantum supremacy first will possess the ability to read every encrypted diplomatic cable and disrupt any financial system at will. This is the so what factor for global stability. We are moving toward a winner-takes-all scenario where the second-place finisher becomes transparent to the winner. If a hostile actor can bypass the encryption of the U.S. Treasury or the Federal Reserve, they could theoretically create ghost money or delete national debt records, causing a total collapse of the U.S. dollar. This is why the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, is racing to finalize standards for post-quantum cryptography, or PQC. They are trying to build new quantum-resistant locks before the quantum master key is fully forged. However, upgrading the entire world's digital infrastructure is a process that will take decades, while a quantum breakthrough could happen in a single afternoon. For the individual investor, this creates a massive black swan risk. Most of our modern wealth exists only as entries in a digital ledger that depends on these vulnerable algorithms. If the trust layer of the internet is compromised, the value of that wealth could evaporate even if the underlying companies or assets are healthy. This is the ultimate paradox of the digital age. Our greatest technological achievement, the internet, has a fatal flaw that only a more advanced technology can exploit. We are entering a period of strategic vulnerability where the old rules of security no longer apply. The large investors are already starting to hedge against this by looking at technologies that don't rely on traditional math. They are looking for the quantum safe havens that can survive the transition to the post-encryption era. But as the digital world becomes more dangerous, a very old-fashioned solution is starting to look much more attractive to those who want to survive the Q-day shock. When the digital locks of the world are picked by quantum computing, the only assets that will remain truly secure are those that do not exist on a server. This is the so what factor for your personal survival strategy. In a world of subatomic calculation, tangible value becomes the ultimate defense. As we approach 2030, the financial rebel is no longer just looking at Bitcoin or digital stocks. They are diversifying back into the physical world. One strategy to consider is the accumulation of hard assets like physical gold and productive land. A bar of gold in a vault in Zurich or Singapore does not care about Shor's algorithm. It cannot be hacked, it cannot be decrypted, and its value is not dependent on the integrity of a digital ledger. Similarly, real estate and agricultural land in regions like the American Midwest or Southeast Asia provide a systemic buffer. No matter how many qubits a computer has, it cannot manufacture more fertile soil or living space. This is the quantum-safe portfolio, a blend of high-tech defense and low-tech reality. While the individual investor, who is 100% digital, may wake up to a balance of zero, the owner of physical resources will still hold the fundamental components of the economy. We are seeing a quiet move by some of the most sophisticated large investors to acquire water rights, timberlands, and mineral deposits. They understand that in the era of the quantum shock, the hierarchy of value will flip. The opaque and physical will become premium, while the transparent and digital will become risky. This doesn't mean you should abandon the digital world entirely, but you must realize that the digital gold of today may not survive the quantum fire of tomorrow. By spreading your wealth across physical assets that exist outside the reach of any algorithm, you are creating a moat that no computer can cross. The modern slave is entirely dependent on the digital grid. The sovereign individual maintains a foot in both worlds. The transition to a post-quantum economy will be chaotic, and the only way to ensure your family's future is to own things that can be touched, farmed, and guarded. The arrival of Q-Day marks the ultimate test of your financial strategy. In a world where digital locks are no longer permanent, your goal must be to transition from digital fragility to systemic resilience. While the mainstream media is busy debating when the first quantum computer will break Bitcoin, the financial rebel is already diversifying into the only two safe havens left: quantum-resistant blockchains and physical sovereignty. The good news is that the first line of defense is already being built. In 2025, the blockchain industry has responded with projects like Quantum Resistant Ledger, QRL, and cell frame, which were architected from the ground up using lattice-based and hash-based signatures that even the most powerful quantum computer cannot solve. Major networks like Solana and Ethereum are also testing post-quantum upgrades to protect their users' assets. The individual investor should start looking for the quantum safe badge on their digital platforms. However, the so what factor of this entire shift is that you cannot rely on a single system to protect you. The ultimate hedge against the quantum shock is a hybrid portfolio that balances the speed of the digital world with the permanence of the physical world. This means holding a portion of your wealth in physical gold and productive land that you can access without an internet connection or a decryption key. As the invisible ear of artificial intelligence and the universal key of quantum computing reshape the global hierarchy, your greatest protection is your independence. Don't be the modern slave who is trapped when the digital gate is hacked. Be the sovereign individual who owns the land, masters the machine, and keeps their secrets in a fortress of mathematics. The future doesn't belong to the ones with the most digital numbers on a screen. It belongs to the ones who own the real-world resources that the numbers are supposed to represent. You have the data, you have the strategy, and now you have the so what, the clarity to see through the hype and build a life that is truly uncrackable. The era of the lifestyle trap and the useless class is only for those who refuse to see the truth. The gate is open, and for the first time in history, you have the tools to walk through it.